Hello, J Africa's Last Dance, the channel where we're moving from the head to the heart on this channel. Okay, that's what this is all about. Okay, here we go. I am a unique source of love and light that shine from within. I honor the place within me, which is of love, of light, of truth, and of peace. I honor the place within me in which the entire universe dwells. I acknowledge all my special gifts, strengths, blessings, and talents, and I now humbly bestow them on the world around me. I now harmonize and synchronize the right and left hemispheres of my brain. I am a source for divine inspiration. I call on my higher self for sacred transformation. I am now tuned with my higher self. I step back and let my higher self lead the way. I trust the guidance my high self gives to me. I trust that my highest good is now unfolding. I am now intuitive, imaginative, and insightful. I am love. I am light. I am joy. I am love. I am light. I am joy. I am love. I am light. I am joy. Okay, that's one of the things I say. I have my hand, I went like that so you can see. I have my hand on my heart so I can get that vocal resonance through that, in that heart chakra. That's what I'm looking for. All right, that's what we're looking for. All right, as we get from the head to the heart. Okay, once again, that's what this channel is all about. Okay, I am moving from the head-centered reality to a heart-centered reality. That's the most important thing to do, and you're going to come along with me, all right? Just a matter of time. You have to do this. It's just a matter of time, okay? Today is Sunday. I went to early 6:30 to the lake, and I did the Sudarshan Kriya. Remember I told you about that. You look back at my videos, you'll see what Sudarshan Kriya is all about, okay? Now I'm doing my own special version of this, okay? I've taken this and kind of run with it a little bit, and it takes me, what is a 35-minute process, I've stretched to 2 hours. Today was 2 hours and 20 minutes. I was doing a combination of Sudarshan Kriya and meditation in between. And then I start to do these mantras and things that I attack, or maybe attacking it isn't the right way to say it, but I start to involve this heart-centeredness that I want to get to. The first three are I fall into each moment and each breath. I fall into each breath and each moment. As in between them, I stay there as I'm doing the three-pointed breathing. And then I get to the Brastrika, and in between there, as I drinketh this love, as I drinketh this frequency of remembrance, as I drinketh this spaciousness, as I drinketh this life, as I drinketh these new H-dimensional light codes and frequencies, as I drinketh this shower of peace, as I drinketh this ray of joy, as I drinketh, okay, I go through, many things just like that. Once again, in some of these spaces I've been in, you feel as though you're drinking in life in the moment. You're drinking it in through your heart chakra. That's how you're experiencing it. And everything is extremely precious when you get to that point, okay? Those things, so I stretched that out to 2 hours and 20 minutes. Now, I hesitate telling you this because you're going to think, oh, shit, this is what you don't. Well, what I want to say is this: you're going to develop your own methods. And it's amazing what you can do. I think we all understand how amazing it is that we can, what we can do when we start doing it. You know what I mean? It's amazing working out or trying to get good at something. It's amazing how we start. We'll start at 15, 20 minutes increments, and then we'll start to expend that time out. And it's amazing what you can develop into. So I've developed into this ways of mine, into this routine of mine, over a period of years, you know what I mean? So it's not hard for me, and I don't look at it as hard as I stay in each breath and I stay in each movement. Ever the sharp eye to slow everything down, fall back and relax. Each and every movement in love and joy. I say that, I've told you, that's one I use, my own mantra. And it's not hard, it's fun, it's almost fun as I develop through these exercises out there in the forest near the lake. You know, beautiful now. The lake is huge. You know, it's just freaking huge. When I'm done with that, I did the open rose ceremony, Mother Mary's open rose ceremony, where I just take all my clothes off. I tried just to leave my boxers on, but you're sprinkling that holy water, that blessed water that the crystals were in, and you know, they just got it all wet. So I just said, I'm just taking my clothes off. It's a little bit risky, and it is risky, but that's what I do. And I'm laying out there naked on the ground with that open rose ceremony. I look back at my videos, you'll see it. That's just another tool I'm using to get to that heart chakra. I say things like, Mother Mary, this is my open rose, Mother Mary, my open heart. Okay? And when you're done with that, you talk about getting out of your mind, that breathing. We talk about getting out of your mind into this swarthy body. You get this sort of swarthy body, earthy quality to you that is, it's nice. It's very relaxed and very nice, and you're out of your head at that point. Okay, you're really out of your head, and you have this quality too that you haven't felt in a while. When you were younger, you would feel a little bit, more body oriented. But as we get older, as we move on in life, we all get trapped in our heads. Okay. And so you just have this sort of swarthiness to you that is really, really, really nice. And then I go down, I do some shopping at the produce mart there, the farmer's market in Los Gatos, and get a coffee. It's nice. I don't drink coffee before I do any of this stuff. I'll drink some after, but not before. And it's really a nice way to start the day, especially on a Sunday. Better than going to church. I swear to God, I've created my own church, really, in a way. And I was there from 6:30 to 6:15. I started at 6:30 till about 9:15. So 3 hours up there doing this, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to do. I highly recommend at least once a month. Get out there, get up, especially if it's a little bit windy, a little bit, you can feel the air swirling around you. You can feel Mother Earth's power and strength in that wind and in nature. And get up there and do some breathing. Okay, I recommend Sudarshan Kriya. Find out how to do it. You'll see. I've told you about it before. But any other pranayamic breathing technique would be okay too. Then meditate. I do 2 forms of meditation. I'll describe that. We haven't done meditation yet. We will, but we haven't done it yet. It is really a wonderful, wonderful way to start a day, start the week, any way you do it. I'm doing it a couple times a month now. As summer rolls, I'll do it a little bit more. You got to get there early before the bugs start flying all over the place. One thing about the full lake now, there's starting to be mosquitoes, which there really wasn't before. So, we're getting out of winter into summer, which that means I have to go right at the crack of dawn and get done. Early on, the bugs aren't flying around so much, but they will start coming to you, and it's a nuisance, but you do the best you can with it. All right, now let's get into it. Okay, I'm a Jane Austen fan. Okay, I enjoy Jane Austen. I think a night spent on PBS watching one of her very, very good the telecast of one of her books is a night well spent. Okay, I've seen some really nice productions, and it's a night well spent. It's really, really wonderful. The women, the women heroines, usually they're the ones at the center of the, for good reason. She's writing the book at the center of the action, and I really identify with them and their plight, and as they're trying to make their way through this society that they've been trapped into in the 1850s, right around that time period. Now, as we notice in those Jane Austen novels and productions, what a density of mores and morals and castes and status games and images that they have to deal with, judgments, the human, what they've done to human sexuality back then, how they constrained it, as we look at that world now, from this world here, we can see the senselessness of it all, and it's just a huge burden to have to take on coming into that world, and that level of rules and regulations and beingnesses and ways that are extremely constricting. You know what I mean? I mean, way worse than what we're experiencing now. Okay, what the galactics would call that is a social illusion complex. Okay, they refer to this world, this earth, and we're all involved in as a social illusion complex. Okay, and that's what it is. Okay, there's no intrinsic reality to that world. Okay, it's only real because the participants agree that's what's real. Okay, that's the only reason it's real. And all these rules, how they embody. Eventually they embody all these arbitrary, dense streams of consciousness. They become them. They become these rules and mores and morals and castes and status games, and they become them. It's only real because they agreed that it was real. That's the only reason that it is real. All right. And they become involved and they embody all these lower vibrational schemes and streams of consciousness. And they seem to represent everything other than love. Okay, really, all these rules and regulations and ways in that world at that time seem to be anything other than love, really. And then the gist of the story is that somehow love, at the core of the story, is somehow love finds a way to pop through anyway with the characters they're dealing with, and the men and the women, and how they handle themselves and stuff like that. Because love eventually does find a way, even in that mess. And then imagine the time period. The beginning of the Industrial Revolution. It was a mess in London and around England at that point in a lot of ways. And then they're still caught in their egoic minds beyond that. You know what I mean? So when they say Earth is one of the toughest schools in the universe, in the universe, really, they say it's in the universe. This is one of the toughest places to come and try to work through. That's what they mean. I mean, it's not only do you have to put up with all this stuff, it's the middle of a messy, dirty industrial revolution, and you're caught in all these ways and streams and schemes that have a sort of a dismembering effect on what your natural being would be otherwise. Okay. Beyond, and English too are very mental people. You know what I mean? They're not like full with they're not like the Indians. You know what I mean? Full of spirit and life and stuff like that. Full of some of the other races too that aren't so mental. English are extremely mental people. Kriyananda, Yogananda's number one, made the comment that he went to England, but you can't give the English the whole truth. Okay, because you only give them parts of it, taste of it, because they're not going to get it, because they're such a mental people. You understand what I mean? He says you go to India, you can give them the whole truth. Okay, but you can't give the English the whole truth because they're simply not going to understand it. You know what I mean? Because of the mentalness, the extreme mentalness and restriction of their race. Really, the Anglo-Saxon race. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but. There's that issue too. Just as they have their complex, and it's easy for us to see as we've pulled out of it back then how bad it was. Now remember, all these things, 1,200 years before, look how the Romans handled things, you know what I mean? It was, like I say, 1,200 years earlier, the Romans and their rules and their mores and their morals and their statuses as if they had their own, but it was so different, you know what I mean? They were like a little bit freer sexually and more understanding, and they had a whole different set of social illusion complex issues going on. But as we look at that time period, we can see from this perspective the nature of that social illusion complex. Okay, now we have our social illusion complex here. Okay, do you think that we've made it through? Huh? As we look back at that world and say, "Oh shit, man, that'd be awful. We sure have it together now." Well, thank God we're not like that. In a way, true. Thank God we aren't like that. It's not that tough, but we have our own social complex here, our own social illusion complex. Okay, and it would seem to me the most important thing, one of the most important things in life, is to pick apart that social illusion complex and not cop to it anymore, and not become it anymore. Because once again, we sort of become this illusion complex in our behaviors, in our inner life. We reflect and mirror all these arbitrary rules and sillinesses that that are really inhibiting us to see our true selves, our true spiritual selves. And you get involved in it, and it's going to be a permanent a method of never getting to the truth of who you truly are. The more you embody these complexes, these social illusion complexes, the more you step away from the track that is going to get you to understand your God-given self, your spiritual self, the fact that you're the light and love of divine. We are small versions of God. In that thing I just read, the whole universe is in us, which is very, very interesting to figure that. So that would be the most important thing to do in life, as far as I'm concerned, is to understand our own social illusion complex and to begin to disassociate ourselves and get it out of our system and become our more natural, God-given spiritual selves. Imagine what a schisming sort of process, especially back then and even this lifetime. That was part of my problem issue early on. I've told you that about before, this hell-like existence that I wanted no more of. Imagine a spirit coming down into that world and how it was going to blow apart and schism what their natural selves would be. That's why they say the Earth reality is the toughest one to come into in this galaxy, in this universe, is because you're faced with all these things, and it's shattered. It's a shattering experience to have to cop to all that stuff. You know what I mean? And so as we talk about demagnetizing the mind, taking apart that mind, this is what we're talking about. Taking apart the particular social illusion complex that we're all subject to and have become embodied in a certain way. It's just a mess. It's just a horrible mess of what it does to a natural human being, your naturalness, your spiritual heritage, your divine heritage, the love and light that shines from within. It's a mess, and you spend your whole life. The smart ones, the ones that aren't so smart, just live that out, and then they die. Okay, the smart ones want to know, what is this? I don't want, this isn't me. I'm getting rid of this and I'm stepping into something that is me. Okay, that's what, like I say, that's one of the most important things to my way of looking at it that we can do. Once again, people are so concerned with doing things, making money and handling this world and profit and living all these types of things. And they don't really think of this important work we have to do of taking apart this complex, this illusion complex, and disassociating ourselves from it, okay? So when I say we have to demagnetize our minds and take apart the minds, this is what we're getting into now. Like I say, we spent a lot of time on magnetizing the heart and how I handle that. Now we're going to take apart the mind and all these complexes that we've been subject to that we have become, okay? So that's what we have looking forward to us as we step more into it. And this is just simply, the Jane Austen world is simply a great world to, and how what a lousy place it was, and how it doesn't really apply anymore, and how it was never really necessary. It was never necessary to make that. That's what just happened in that period of time. Everybody agreed that that was the truth, and they were subject to it. So I think I'm going to stop right there. I want to get done here before it gets too late. Funny thought of the day. Okay, so I'm walking down Los Gatos Boulevard. Beautiful little shops there they had. More so 10, 20 years ago than they do now, because online shopping has decimated it. But walking down the street, and I look in, I'm going by this late woman's shop, and I look in, there's 3 or 4 dresses that they must have just gotten in, and they were beautiful dresses. I go, wow. So I go in there, so I'm checking them out, and I go, wow, this is nice stuff here. And she goes, yes, all the girls really love it. And I stop for a second and I go, what are you trying to say? Just picking him a fight, really, just out of fun. And then we both kind of laughed. I walked out, and then I can carry the conversation in my head. What are you trying to say? Yeah, as a manager, I called back to the owner of the shop. I think your helper here just accused me of being nothing but a big girl. Is that the kind of PR you want? Is that right? Besides, I'm not a big girl. I'm about 15% girl. Okay, 16% girl. That's it. Okay, so I'm not a big girl. I'm a little girl. Okay. And that is the funny thought of the day. Jeff Africa being a little girl. I do have about 15% girl in me. I think it's good. I'm proud of the girl that's in me. I like it. Guys that are all 100% masculine are a little bit less interesting than guys that are a little bit of blend of it. And I'm a man. There's no question about that. But I do have a certain girlness in me, and I honor it. There. I honor my girl. All right. That's it. I am Jeff Africa. I'm a citizen of Earth, loyal patriot of the United States of America, and I stand unafraid. And these 4, Mother Earth, Divine Mother, Paramatma Yogananda, and Jeshua Ben Joseph, these 4 I've chosen to help me get from this head to the heart. I'm going to do it right in front of you. You're going to see it, and you're going to do it too. You're going to do it because you have to do it. We as human beings will put all kinds of discipline into doing everything else, except for this stuff like this. That's my looking at it. That's what is true. It's amazing what we'll work at and get good at. Everything but something like this, the most important thing. Well, that's going to change. Okay, we're going to change that, because this stuff like this is the most important thing, and we have to apply some discipline and a little bit of work. But it doesn't have to be thought of as hard work, okay? Because I've gotten out of the hard work thing. When I'm up there at the lake during that 2 hours and 20 minutes, I've fallen back into those exercises. And it's not work. It's just a wonderful way to get out of that head at the beginning or the end of the week. Yeah, I think of Sunday as the beginning of the next week. And that's what, this is what we are going to do here, okay? We are going to work a little bit as shift our discipline to the thing that is most important. Finding our true selves, finding our heart-centered selves, getting out of this constipated, screwed up, thin, experienced mind reality and into something much, much, much better. Okay, and like I say, when we head to the 5th dimension, I'm pretty sure, I'm shooting from the hip here, that you have to get to the heart. You have to get how you get to unity consciousness through the heart. Okay, that's how you get there. Thanks very much, and it has been wonderful sharing this time with you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.